gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to what will become that which is to be the Daytona Day.
The Daytona Day.
I am, of course, very attractive, and with me, as always, is noted Carpathian hooligan, Mike Magus.
These are true statements, and I am neither a fan of the Partisan nor the Red Star, so that's an interesting combo.
Would you say that you're a fan, perhaps, of more of a Orange Circle?
Orange Circle would be intriguing. We are here for the final round of the Daytona Prototypes and GT4 series for ESR. Somebody decided to only record the very end of qualifying, so that's why you're either seeing a black screen now or Martin has like stretched out a picture to cover this part. I don't know which. I'll leave that up to him. I'll give a quick rundown of the grid, then we'll do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then we will be off to the races.
Vroom.
So Josiah Jerome will start the race on pole from Max Simmons, Dan Bach, Bertrand Barrier, Martin Edmonds, Fumihiro Kobayashi, Richard DeRoche, Wayne Hutchison, Marcelo Giordano, Caleb Gonzalez, Sean Kenny, John Barker, and Mauricio Delgado for the prototypes. I can only see the top 6 GT4s, which, spoiler, there are only 6 of them. And that's Guido De Palma, Liam Curtin, James Butler, Zifo Duran, Javier Perez Torres, and Michael Magus. Championship battle going on here between Curtin, Duran, and Magus to hoist the crown here at the end of the season. I think I'm going to cheat slightly here that the prototype championship is already settled, but I will find out real quick here. Yes, Caleb Gonzalez is pretty much our champion. There may be some mathematical computation that allows somebody else to take that crown, but it is significantly unlikely. So we'll put it this way: I can confirm that Caleb is the champion. But the GT4 title is very much up for grabs. So, Byron, do you have anything else to tell the people?
Armadillos are very short.
Excellent. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. And we are rolling here through the last of the qualifying circuit.
Josiah sucks. Oh no, wait, that's not right.
He's on pole, so he definitely does not suck. This is, I want to say, the first Daytona race that we've had in an official capacity. I could be wrong. This might be the second one, and I just missed the other one, maybe. I don't know. But we are.
The rest of them were all at Daytona.
Daytona versus Daytona. This is a partial oval, so that'll be interesting to watch as the grid forms up here.
Should make them all form up in the shape of a penis.
It's not very grid-like.
Well, I mean, you have to be creative with your grid procedures.
Mm-hmm. We are missing Josiah Jerome and the person who is starting P4, which I think is Bertrand Barrier. There we go. There's Barrier. And now it's just Josiah. Get your ass on the grid, buddy. There we go. All right, here we go. The blues are the prototypes. The orange are the GT4s. This will be a 1 pit stop, 90-minute race, and we are off here at Daytona. A couple of the outside cars getting off to a kind of bad start there. Martin Edmonds is into 4th place, having gotten past Bertrand Barrier. In the background, there are the GT4 crew. And it is still Josiah Jerome leading from Max Simmons, Dan Bach, Barrier, and Edmonds getting side by side. And it looks like Barrier is going to edge out his Canadian counterpart.
I agree.
That is for the 4th position. They have Kobayashi right behind them in red and white car. Surprised to see Richard DeRoche so far back. Normally one of the top men in the field. As well as Caleb, 9th place. Have we ever seen Caleb in 9th place?
I think we have, but I don't think he stayed there.
It's interesting to see him qualify that far back. In the GT4 field, it is De Palma, Butler, Duran, Perez Torres, Curtin, and Magus, all pretty close together right now, though Magus is a little bit back. Spoiler, I took myself out of the first corner. But I am still running.
Not sure what's going on, but it sounds like somebody's jumping up and down on the porch upstairs. That's going to be interesting.
That's an intriguing sound effect that is not coming in over the mic, so that's good.
It's because I'm using press to talk between pounding sessions.
I mean, there are other things I can use.
Not out front.
Somebody getting this egg.
On the porch?
There are weirder things in life, sir.
He just ran up the stairs and started humping violently on the porch, so it sounds like somebody's actually using a hammer.
God, that's some interesting sexual contact.
I mean, you tell me.
Martin Edmonds held off Fumihiro Kobayashi, and that opened the door for Marcelo Giordano to move into 6th place. So Giordano is up a spot. And also looking to get past Kobayashi is the other whaling car. That is Richard DeRoche. And Caleb Gonzalez right behind him. So the pressure is on for the Japanese driver right now. Sean Kenny, Wayne Hutchison, John Barker, and a little bit off the back there is the Spirit of Daytona car, Mauricio Delgado, back in 13th place. So I suppose we can fill some time here talking about what your plan is for this evening. So we're designing a Mario Kart World of Tanks track. Do tell the public.
You just did.
Is that all? We don't have a map in mind.
Not really. I'm kind of bored with all the stuff we've already got.
Okay.
So I want something new that
something new, something fresh.
Turn over to the people for Friday nights.
Cool. Zifo Duran up behind James Butler. By the way, Guido De Palma is just running away with it. He's already 3.5 seconds up on everybody. And I do protest this because Guido De Palma has like no ballast and everyone else has got like a child riding in their backseat.
That would be an interesting race technique.
It's because he's not been attending and therefore he has managed to shirk the ballast.
Mandatory 93-ton ballast.
Dan Bach has overtaken Max Simmons and is up into 2nd position, trailing Josiah Jerome. So there's Jerome, Bach, Simmons, Barrier, Edmonds, your top 5. And this is an incredibly ballast-dependent track because of the oval sections.
I think they should just take 2 ovals and turn them into one giant oval.
I mean, that has been done.
Not like I have in my brain.
Oh, well, do tell.
It's like somebody kicked the head of a figure of an 8, and then it just kind of shifted over to the left.
Oh, okay. Zifo Duran goes up the inside of James Butler there for 2nd place. Javier Perez Torres chomping at the bit in the blue BMW right behind them. It looks like... Nope. Okay, it looks like Butler has held on to that 3rd place position. So as it stands, Duran would be your GT4 champion. It's pretty simple for him. If he beats Curtin and Magus, he is the champion.
Go, Roberto Duran!
And I should say, doesn't get any penalties. That would be also key. So,
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Well, it'd be more like a 10-point penalty, not champion. Marcelo Giordano on the tail of Martin Edmonds here, battle for 5th position between 2 of the regulars around these parts. As they head into the infield section here at Daytona. Not many turn names here. There's the bus stop chicane towards the end and the International Horseshoe turn.
How many bus stops are there?
Just the one bus stop.
Well, isn't there a bus stop on another?
Oh yes, Spa's got the bus stop too. Those are I want to say those are the only 2 I'm aware of, but there probably are more. I think they just use bus stop for any like super slow chicanes.
Why don't they just make them all race buses if they're going to have bus stops? It seems hardly fair and inconvenient for the general public.
The Europeans do have a bus racing series, so it is there.
Sweet.
But it's not in any game, to my knowledge. much. Although, you know what? We could probably make it happen in R Factor, because R Factor allows you to mod everything. And I think all things are possible through R Factor.
That and or probably E-Rex Fest.
That too. Bertrand Barrier up on the back of Max Simmons, so he's showing some good pace today. While Martin Edmonds is being dropped like a sack of potatoes that are about to be turned into poutine.
I can make him into soup. I got a pretty good soup.
Well, Martin poutine. Come on, that goes hand in hand.
I suppose. Although I heard he was faking it and he's really bad.
Could also ferment it in some kind of alcohol, but we need an Irish driver to make that.
You mean like Liam?
Indeed. But Liam's not being dropped like a sack of potatoes is the problem. He's actually moving forward.
He is in 17th place.
I mean, he's in 4th place, really. He's also overtaken Javier Perez-Torres this lap and is pretty damn close to James Butler.
Close enough you can smell him.
That's true. I mean, in fairness, you can smell these cars from a long way away. The fuel they're burning is very rich.
It's made entirely out of Saudi Arabians.
Qataris or GTFO.
They technically all Qatar heroes.
He's a Qatar box hero. So we can discuss maps in which we want to make this track on tonight. Because, spoiler, this is not the most riveting of races.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just imagine we're here for the rest of the hour and a half.
So do you want to do Pearl River, or did we?
We already did Pearl River. I think we got a handle on that.
Okay.
But I think again that's a bit advanced. We may want to revisit Provence and see if there's something we can do there that's doable for people that have only raced maybe twice ever.
I think, to be honest, they've kind of killed the Provence racetrack viability, but we'll see
what we can
do.
But I have an idea that one section could be good down there.
Fumihiro Kobayashi all over the back end of Marcelo Giordano as he's looking to get that spot back. He is on the charge, and it looks like he did, in fact, get there. Sean Kenny in 11th place is trying to track down Wayne Hutchison. Should be mentioned, Wayne Hutchison is one of the few prototypes who just completely went for the Daytona Oval setup. Went super low drag and great straight line speed, and Martin was raging every time he came near him as he was just zipping up behind him. As Dan Bach has lost 2nd place to Max Simmons. He was right up with Josiah Jerome, so I wonder if Bach made a mistake.
His only mistake was getting up that morning.
I mean, he's in 3rd place. I kind of disagree.
I would like to state for the record that I'm doing this commentary disgustingly sober.
Tremendously sober, so you're getting the sober part.
Tremendously sober.
Also might be filming another episode of Super Mega Baseball tonight with Paul Riccabetti.
Whoa, not that guy. He's weird.
As the lapping process of the GT4s begins, that was Michael Magus and Javier Perez-Torres. Oh, Dan Bach is spun!
How do you do that? There's no corners.
He spun out at the bus stop. I don't even know how. I don't know how he did that. Where is he now?
Established that if there's pavement, Dan Bach can't spin.
He is behind Kobayashi and Edmonds now, so he's back to he's off again. I think that was him in the low ground.
He did. Rip Dan.
He's now behind DeRoche, Gonzalez, Hutchison's through. So this race has gone from really promising to really uphill battle very suddenly for Dan Bach.
He's going to have to fight from 93rd place all the way to 47th place before he can get the star, like in Mario.
Or the bullet. Or the bullet.
Is there a bullet?
There's a bullet in the newer ones, yeah.
Oh, damn.
You turn into a bullet. Have you never seen the Mario is racist video?
I've probably seen 2 or 3 of those, but not about Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's where you play Mario Kart, and he's just like killing everyone who's not a Nintendo character, and then getting really angry at the Nintendo characters for being race traitors.
That sounds pretty hilarious.
We'll look that up after this.
You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I've ever played any Mario Kart game other than the original Mario Kart.
Super Nintendo style?
Yeah, like that was the only one I ever played, I think. They didn't come up with a second one until like the N64, I think, and I just wasn't
the next system. I had the N64 version. That's the one that I'm super familiar with. I had the Double Dash for GameCube, and I haven't owned a Nintendo system since.
Yeah, N64 was the last one I bought, and then they brought out the Game Purse, and it was just like, wow, that's kind of cool. Do you get a free set of earrings with your purple line there?
I will say the GameCube did have Super Smash Bros. Melee, which was a very good game. So there is that. But otherwise, it was like even Double Dash, the Mario Kart game, was kind of a letdown.
Yeah.
And the various Mario sports games that came out after Mario Tennis were not great. Dan Bach overtaking Wayne Hutchison there, which is surprising because Hutchison's got, like I said, that straight line speed really baked into the car. So Bach might actually... drive-through penalty for track limit abuse for Sean Kenny. He's back at 11th place and abusing track limits. Sean, what's going on here? What is the frequency?
I just don't know.
It's clear he doesn't know. So does Jerome, Simmons, Barrier, Edmonds, and Kobayashi, your top 5 in the prototype category. And then it is De Palma, Duran, Curtin, Perez Torres, Magus. Butler has slipped to the back of the GT4 pack. What happened to him?
Yeah, so they released Mario Kart, Super Mario Kart. There was no original Mario Kart. It was Super Mario Kart in '92 on the SNES, and it's been re-released a bunch of times. Then they didn't release another one until the 64th one in 1996, and by that time I think I was on the PlayStation. And then there was Super Circuit, and then Double Dash, but there was never a single dash, so I mean that's kind of lame.
Some of the new ones look pretty promising. My roommate plays them from time to time. He's got the... I don't even know what Nintendo system he has, actually.
Probably Switch.
I don't think it's... I think he has the Switch, but I think he has, like, one of the Wiis as well.
Mario
Dan Bach's
Kart
still
8.
on the charge as he overtakes Marcelo Giordano's back to 9th place, so he's had something happen to him. And next on Bach's list will be the championship frontrunner, Caleb Gonzalez.
The Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U. Wii U.
Fumihiro Kobayashi side by side with Martin Edmonds once again, looking to make the overtake happen. I may be actually wrong. The prototypes appear to be having a really good time. So maybe it was just the GT4s that had a really boring day.
This may be true.
Giordano trying to come back at Dan Bach, but working at this time.
Back one of them Bach rockin' beats.
Maybe. Looks like Bach is set up for the oval section. He seems to be struggling a little bit through the infield, so that's what's letting Giordano under pressure.
Under pressure.
If Martin Edmonds can put Kobayashi back under pressure, but right now he can't. Max Simmons is right up with Josiah Jerome, only 3/10 back. So after looking like he had a bit of a weak start to begin with, Max Simmons is coming on pretty strong. So he's found a bit of a groove here and is putting some lap times together. All over the back end of the leader here as we're just ending the lap. Yep, this is corner 1, so that was just the end of the lap there. And Simmons is putting the pressure on here as we start lap number 11, I do believe.
It's actually lap 17,890. They're very quick.
It is not.
Fair enough.
This is not Bristol.
Bristol Maroon Day?
Bristol Maroon Day. Apparently a really nice guy.
Fair enough.
Caleb Gonzalez up on the tail of Dan Bach and Richard Rocher. So it looks like Bach has gotten past Gonzalez. And, Edmonds has fallen way back. He's down to 9th place. What is going on with Martin Edmonds is the question. The answer is probably a flat spot.
This is true, like flat spot on the back of his head.
So DeRoche and Kobayashi up ahead of Bach now. Bach is on the charge. He'd like to get back into that podium consideration. And there is Martin Edmonds, still circulating, running behind Marcelo Giordano at the moment. We'll see if he can charge back through the field, although he doesn't have quite the... There we go. Dan Bach just cruising on up to Richard DeRoche and saying bye-bye as they head towards the bus stop chicane, which was where Dan Bach had his moment. So always exciting to see him go through there. Kobayashi is next on his list.
Got all these Mario Kart games, but they never did the obvious tie-in and have a Donkey Kart game.
I mean, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong are in the Mario Kart games.
Yeah, but you need like a villain. You need a villain series to go with the hero series.
But there are villains in the hero series.
But you know what? You could have a whole different tone. You just do different things.
So we're going darker. Gotcha.
It's the whole point of the villain.
Dan Bach overtaking Fumihiro Kobayashi for third position. So Bach is still on the charge here, although a little bit ragged out there, and that's going to let Kobayashi take the spot back and move into third position. But Bach is still alongside with him, and ooh, that was an interesting approach, that turn. It did not work out, though, and Kobayashi remains ahead, although wide. And Bach couldn't get the run there. I think Bach's got to wait until the oval section. That appears to be where he just overpowers people. Although this is bringing Richard DeRoche, Caleb Gonzalez, Marcelo Giordano, Martin Edmonds, Wayne Hutchison all in play. As Josiah Jerome was dropped back to 13th place, so pit stop, maybe? Can we get a camera on Josiah Jerome, please?
Nope.
Dan Bach looking to overtake Kobayashi there and succeeds into the bus stop. And Caleb Gonzalez looking to get past Richard DeRoche. These two have been battling all season long for the right to be champion.
And
unfortunately, some key absences from Richard have largely robbed him of that chance.
Well, I mean, all he has to do is knock him out of every race that he's possibly in, and then Richard can be right up there.
This is true.
Just got to be tricky about it.
Kobayashi still looking to get past Dan Bach. This is the section where he should have the advantage. Bach appears to be very set up for the oval, not so much for the interior section. So this infield section is where he is, in theory, vulnerable, but Kobayashi is under pressure from DeRoche as well. At some point, traffic will play a role here. We saw some blue flags earlier. We will see some more before the end of this. Should see them every 6 to 8 laps, basically.
What if they just start waving a pirate flag? What does that mean? All rules are off. Put them in the wall.
Dead car on track.
Could be.
I don't believe that there is one for that. I know what the checkered flag means. I know what the white flag means. I know what the yellow flag, blue flag, the meatball flag, and I know what the green flag means.
Does it mean go?
Yes.
Excellent.
And the black flag. And the black and white flag.
Well, technically, Jolly Roger is black and white.
Yeah, but the black and white flag is very specifically like a diagonal line, basically, on the flag. One part
well, that's
white,
boring.
One part black. That means that you have been warned for something.
I think they should have black and white flags, but them have them like slightly checkerboarded, so the different checks mean different things, and you have to really interpret that on the fly.
That would be very confusing, and I'm not. Oh, it looks like we've lost Josiah Jerome.
No.
He's dropped a lap down to the GT4, so I don't know.
R.I.P. Josiah.
Wayne Hutchison, 9th place now, doing pretty well. And Caleb Gonzalez there. Oh, there is some traffic. That is James Butler and Michael Magus getting in the way of their faster class cars.
I approve. Sandbag everybody. Not just be a baseball.
You're not that sandbag. You actually had the only RBI in today's episode.
Ooh, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, we lost.
And whom's fault is that?
I mean, my fault. I am the player. Doug Bragg's, horrible streak continued. And,
I thought you benched him.
I did bench him, but I pinch hit him into the game when Roberto Pietti was not hitting, and it didn't work out.
Well, yeah, you're going to replace the guy who's not hitting with the guy who's not hitting.
Yeah, I mean, he's got stats. At some point, we need to get Doug out of his slump.
This is probably accurate.
He is tactically one of our 3 best hitters. Like, it's at some point I need him to hit.
Unfortunately, he can't catch or run or dive.
No, he can do pretty much everything. He is one of our more complete players.
Completely benchable.
I mean, everyone's completely benchable, for being honest.
Just bench everybody in every game.
Our next episode will see Ziggy Manis and Doug Bragg on the bench, as well as Sonia Eliberto. Her bat has gone silent for a couple of games, and she'll have one off.
But she's one of the best home run hitters in the league.
She's only got that 1 home run, but it was before yours, and she's probably going to never forget that. Yes.
That's fine.
The episode is up on YouTube now for our 2-game series against the Scampers.
Shroom Scampy.
And up next, we have a 2-game series against the Venom. Kobayashi still keeping up with Dan Bach, keeping him honest, only about a half second back. Although Bach will probably stretch his legs through this sector. He does definitely seem to have an advantage over the Japanese driver through the oval section. Caleb Gonzalez on the tail of Richard DeRoche as well. There is the bus stop chicane. This is a very challenging turn. And luckily it has very liberal track limits. Pit window is open, so it will now be possible to head to the pit lane to serve your mandatory pit stop. Although I don't expect we'll see anybody in for another 20 minutes or so.
Except Martin. Martin has to pit every 10 minutes.
I mean, you're probably not entirely incorrect, given Martin's predilection for destroying his tires.
So you just put minimal fuel in the tank, so you can be really light, and you just blast around the track, so that you're easier on your tires, and it's a perfect game plan for Martin. You just pit stop every 10 laps.
I mean, every 10 laps wouldn't really work, but yeah, planning for like a 3-stop strategy, if you know you're going to have to make 3 stops, probably makes a lot of sense, actually. Caleb Gonzalez looking at the back end of Richard DeRoche, as he has been for quite some time. Marcelo Giordano is in behind them in 7th position. Looking at the GT4s, they are pretty much locked solid right now at this point. De Palma, Duran, Curtin, Perez Torres, Magus, Butler. That order has not changed in a pretty decent chunk of time.
And it won't until my modified Godzilla comes onto the track and starts flattening cars.
I mean, that would be interesting. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, my race was going perfectly fine until I started having to fight with a Nissan. And then I got destroyed. And I'm like, you got destroyed by Godzilla. Caleb Gonzalez diving down the inside of Richard DeRoche, but DeRoche gets a much better run off that turn and retains the position into turn 1. Turn 1 is a freaking nightmare. If anyone has seen... Oh, somebody in the background is in the wall. I think, unfortunately, that might be Wayne Hutchison. And I believe it is. He is dropping like a stone. So that, I think, is Wayne Hutchison in the wall. He is back at moving now. But I imagine that car is not feeling super great right now. So Wayne, usually one of the late pit stoppers, might be in early to get that damage fixed.
If he hits the wall any harder, he's going to be a hutchback.
Oh. suppose Wayne's mech of choice has to be the Hunchback. There's no way around that.
Probably not.
The other acceptable choice would be the Hatchet Man. Marcelo Giordano on the tail of Caleb Gonzalez. So Gonzalez tried to get past DeRoche. It didn't work out. And now he's got Giordano to deal with. So Peruvian versus Uruguayan rivalry living out here in motorsport. A completely non-existent rivalry in motorsport because I cannot name a Peruvian or a Uruguayan driver of note.
Is it because they're super hard to pronounce?
No, they're largely pretty easy to pronounce. It's largely just your standard Latin American names.
Pedro, Esteban.
Yeah, Pedro, Esteban, Rodrigo, Luciano.
Hey, good old traditional South American name after 1946.
Only after 1946. Liam Curtin getting an overtake done on Zifo Duran there, so our first position change in the GT4 class in a while. Guido De Palma is running away with this. He is over 17 seconds ahead. He's got like a proper stop mill watch going on right now.
You start power sliding corners and stuff.
Zifo Duran in the BMW trying to get back past the only Lotus in the field today, Liam Curtin. No Shannon Flynn. As he goes high here towards turn number 1. Be able to get a little bit a little bit of a better line into the first turn, but no overtaking attempt there. Back to Giordano, who is still on the tail of Caleb Gonzalez, but Gonzalez has stretched his legs a little bit and opened up about a half-second gap. But I think this is another case where Giordano is much more suited to the oval, and Caleb is suited to the infield section based on how that gap has been.
We move him to shortstop.
I mean, shortstop is the key position, so I mean, the winner of this race is the shortstop.
Giggity.
Of course, underreported fact, Max Simmons currently in the lead after we lost to Josiah Jerome. Oh, Giordano getting very close into turn 1 there. Up ahead of them is Richard Roche. Martin Edmonds in behind them in the SunTrust car. Still keeping up despite potential flat spots. Has not pitted yet, so can't be that troubling. There is not really sure why we're looking at John Barker, but there he is.
Because he was very attractive.
And we cut back to the fight between, big slides from Marcelo Giordano and Caleb Gonzalez. Interesting name of the day. I was watching a Madden, old school Madden rebuild series that one of the guys I'm subscribed to is doing. I didn't realize this, but there was a guy named Hedgecock on the New York Giants.
Was he just really bristly son of a bitch?
I mean, he might have been a very bristly son of a bitch down low.
Yeah, I didn't ask about that. You're just, you're a little strange.
I'm just not sure how the etymology of that name comes about. Like, what?
Well, obviously somebody was into shrubbery and chickens. It's not that hard.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You with the program, you weird.
First man to make his
overly sexual person.
First man to make his mandatory pit stop is Mauricio Delgado. Little hang up in the video there. Marcelo Giordano had a run on Caleb Gonzalez, but did not manage to make anything happen out of it.
Why not?
And Richard DeRoche is loving this. He's got to be loving seeing these two fight in his rear. Oh, somebody off. That was Bertrand Barrier. That's going to let Dan Bach back up at his second place. Barrier drops the third. Not sure if there was any contact between the two or if Barrier just lost it. So if anybody wants to know how Michael Schumacher got into F1, please check out Josh Rebel's video on how a fight got a Formula One great into Formula One.
I know how he got out of it. Hey,
well, he retired. That's how most. There's usually two ways you get out: you retire or you die. Those are two options. Not really many drivers that fit into like a third category. I mean, there's a couple. Didri Pironi comes to mind. He got out because he lost the use of his legs.
Well, didn't make the payments?
No. There was a big accident. And he became a powerboat racer afterwards, actually.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Robbed him of probably being the 1982 world champion. Because that was a... That's like a season that, like, if I could go back and watch an old season of F1 that happened before I was alive, 82 ranks very high on the list. Very, very competitive season. And the first ever Finnish world champion.
Mickey Räikkönen.
That was KK Rosberg.
KK Downing.
KK Rosberg, of course, one of, I believe, two father-son world champion combos, with Graham Hill and Damon Hill being together.
And also 17 Räikkönens.
I mean, Räikkönen's kids have not hit F1 yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
Fair enough.
Mick Schumacher might make F1 next season, so he'd be looking to emulate his father in the World Championship hunt. And the most recent fruit of Nelson Piquet's loins is coming up. Pedro Piquet. Dan Bach has lost a spot back to Barrier and is looking to get back past him here on the oval, and does establish that Dan Bach is blazingly quick on that oval section, just absolutely leaving Barrier for dead.
That's rather rude.
It's a little rude for sure. Oh, contact with the wall and then contact with Barrier for Bach. And he is, yeah, I was going to say, you cannot hold your position like that, Mr. Bach. That is, that would have been for sure a penalty.
I'll allow it.
That's not your call. It's not my call either.
Well,
it's not your call.
Maybe it should.
I don't think so.
I'll just be the new steward, and everybody comes to me with their complaints. I'm like, shut up! Stop whining!
Still alive, aren't you?
You're not actually dead, it's simulated. Grow up.
There's no actual danger. Press option 8 if you would like to speak with Marshall or with Stewart Byron Dirksen.
I don't like him. He yells at me.
No, you would. You would yell at them. As there is the GT4 leader, Guido De Palma, getting lapped by Bertrand Barrier, and then shortly Dan Bach will come flying through as well. Caleb Gonzalez still on the tail of Richard Durocher, still with Marcelo Giordano hanging on. They've dropped Martin Edmonds a fair bit, so he's no longer keeping with them, and actually they have a lapped car of Mauricio Delgado between them. I'm not really sure why Mauricio never bothered to try to get changed into GT4. That does feel like where his skill level more is than the prototypes, but whatever makes you happy.
I think we should make him race lawnmowers.
Caleb Gonzalez still looking at that back of Richard Durocher. Has yet to find a way past the Canadian.
Well, it's easy. You just go around him. You just click the buttons. It's easy.
Easier said than done.
Well, probably.
Richard kind of got hauled to Caleb got real wide there, and that's actually let Marcelo Giordano through. So Giordano profits up into 6th place. Whoa! Guido De Palma getting very wide there. Gonzalez getting very wide there. Everybody's sliding around, and Giordano's off the track. And Caleb is back into 6th place.
Well done.
Palma watch, 22 seconds ahead.
It's like a million years.
I mean, in racing time? Yeah, kind of. Still not much action on pit road, although, to be honest, we probably won't see it really heat up for another 5 minutes or so. I think if we don't see any pit stops within the next, 10 minutes, then I'm going to be really puzzled. But, we'll find out shortly here. Dan Bach trying to get back past Barrier, and he does, because he is undeniable on that oval section. Speaking of pit stops, I believe this is Marcelo Giordano coming in for his.
Spoiler alert, no one's going to pit stop.
Well, then they would all be in for a big penalty.
Well, that's fine.
And Mauricio Delgado would benefit heavily. Barrier on the tail of box still. Giordano, of course, had... Sean Kenny's actually also in the pits. He has served his pit stop. So. A couple of people taking their option here around the 53 to 52 minute mark. Not quite halfway. We're not quite halfway through, though. Still on the tail of Dan Bach. May want to think about trying to undercut Bach in the pit stop, as he is starting to really express his dissatisfaction with track limits.
Well, all you have to do is go around and just you can go on the green part of the track. It's fine.
Oh, looks like we have a retirement. Sean Kenny has pulled the pin. He knew he couldn't make it to the end of the race and was facing girlfriend anger.
He did.
So Kenny is out. And Delgado and Giordano have served their pit stops. None of the GT4s have pitted yet, so... And they're... Well, we lost one. Sifo Duran just disappeared, so there goes his hopes at the GT4 title.
His cloaking technology has come into effect.
Indeed. Why don't you give me a storyline? You're right, Mr. Gearworks. How about I win the title? Oh! Bertrand Barrier destroys James Butler. It was very rude.
Hey, he probably had it coming.
I mean, I've never seen Butler do anything to Mr. Bertrand Barrier.
He probably said horrible things.
I'm surprised. I am surprised that didn't get reported, because it was pretty bad. It was really not good driving from Barrier, so I instantly have to become a Dan Bach fan.
Here we are on board with Dan Bach. Oh, and we all have motion sickness now.
This is not Mech Warrior. This is racing.
Well, I mean, he just spins all the time.
He only had that one moment, really.
He only has that one moment 3 times each race.
I mean, more is probably coming. Speaking of Dan Bach, there he is getting past Michael. Or is that? Yep, that is him. That is him. I was right. Dan Bach going through. And here come the various prototypes here through the horseshoe.
We're going to shoot?
The horseshoe.
Sir, I'd like to call that the prostitute shoe.
Or the Ultramarines logo.
That's also true.
The Ultramar turn. believe this is where Martin started fiddling around with the camera.
Is that because he crashed horribly?
Nah, it's because his keyboard's right next to him and he just has to press a button every once in a while.
That makes sense.
Of course, we are getting no feel for what actually is happening.
Well, I mean, you're looking at it.
We are getting a lovely tour of the Daytona road course track, though. With the Sunoco gas station.
See, if this was my Trackmania track, then your banking corners would instantly flip over to opposite banking corners.
Indeed. You have done that. You were an evil genius.
Times.
Evil genius. Also killed the jobber.
Correct.
Caleb Gonzalez still in 6th place. He's lost Richard Durocher a little bit now. So what he needs to hope is that a pit stop will be kind to him. And he can make up some ground here in the second half of the race. There is Richard Durocher. We were debating who the best Japanese driver in F1 history was the other night. We came to the conclusion it's Kamui Kobayashi because he's the only one that we can say without a shadow of doubt did not get into F1 by boning the CEO of Honda's daughter.
It sounds like a fair assessment.
Which is an alarming trend between Japanese F1 drivers.
Does he have multiple daughters or just like?
It's been multiple CEOs as well. So.
Oh, I see. Well,
but it just seems to be that this is how it works.
I'm beginning to wonder how you get to be the CEO of that company.
Takuma Sato, Shinji Nakano, both relationships with the CEO of Honda's daughter. It's how they got into F1. And I believe there was a third driver who went that route, as well as Caleb Gonzalez comes into the pits to try to undercut Richard Durocher. We'll see how that works out. James Butler has been in and out of the pits. It is now a lap down to Michael Magus, so problems for the lone Porsche in the field.
Officer, I cannot afford another ticket in my Porsche.
Wayne Hutchison coming to the pits. Well, then you sell your Porsche.
No, then you get your super smoking hot wife to try and seduce the cop. Haven't you seen the movie?
That too.
God, jeez.
There are a lot of ways when you have a Porsche to get out of a ticket. Let's be real.
Okay, Meatball, back to your cell with your smoking hot wife. I think we have to DQ Max Simmons for using the Confederate flag car.
I mean, he's fine.
It's fine. It's racing, not heritage or something.
John Barker's got a little bit of a screwed up car there. Looks like he is heading into the pit lane. No, he's not. Might want to think about it though. That front end has seen better days.
It's fine. It's just weight saving.
He's not missing parts. It's just dented.
Well, maybe it's a scoop to help him go around right-hand or left-hand corners, depending.
Martin Edmonds coming out of the pit lane. Rejoining with some fresh tires, and he flat spots them again.
Whoa.
Max Simmons still leading from Dan Bach, Barrier, Kobayashi, Durocher, Hutchison, and Barker all yet to hit. I swear I thought Hutchison did, but it must have been another car. There he is. Now he's coming in. Hutchison down the pit lane. Car's a little beat up from headbutting the wall, I think.
Also sounds like there's a gopher in the shifter.
A little bit. So back to race leader, Max Simmons, who will probably be the last one to pit if his track record is anything to go on.
I would say that's a fair assessment.
That is his trademark. You cannot infringe upon his gimmick. John Barker coming into the pit lane as well to get that front damage fixed, and also a new set of tires and fuel to the end of the race, presumably. And Caleb Gonzalez will pick up a couple spots here as people are in the pit lane.
They have to work pretty hard to top my Wreckfest performance, though.
Your Wreckfest performance, I'm told, was majestic.
I channeled my inner Federico Svanger and finished the whole race on 3 wheels.
Indeed, I'm told this. Oh, drive-through penalty for Wayne Hutchison, speeding in the pit lane. Wayne, you're supposed to be being an example to the younger drivers, how to obey the rules, and then you go and do this.
I mean, I don't know about that. Just don't get caught.
We hear Kobayashi in the pit lane to get his service. That'll leave us with just 3 prototypes yet to pit, although there are 4 GT4s yet to pit. De Palma, Curtin, Perez, Torres, and Magus still circulating on their initial fuel load and tires.
Remember, kids, pit early and pit often.
It's not really how it works, but okay.
What do you mean?
Kobayashi rejoins the flow of traffic here from the pit lane. John Barker was in there a while, so that was some complex repairs to his front end, I imagine.
They're going to have to rebuild them or give them a mastectomy or something.
Could be, could be. And drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Bertrand Barrier, who did not have a very good pit stop, it should be mentioned. He's comes out behind DeRoche, Gonzalez, and Kobayashi. So, not a well-done pit lane performance, and the speeding is only going to make that worse.
Worse or better?
Definitely worse. There's really no better on the matter.
Fair enough.
Mauricio Delgado up into 9th place, although he will be the one struggling on tires the most by the end, as he pitted the earliest. We'll see if that costs him in a battle against Hutchison and Barker. Caleb Gonzalez on the tail of Richard DeRoche once again. So he pitted before DeRoche and needs to make up some time, needed to make up some time earlier because the tire life should favor Grande Hicardo.
Unless, of course, he gets hit by a wildebeest.
Wildebeest seems unlikely. Dan Bach, drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Spinning in the pit lane.
As we see Liam Curtin chugging down the pit lane to take his one that is planned. And Michael Magus. MRS Besa Group Racing Team.
Michael Magus, noted frequent pit stopper.
Not really. Caleb Gonzalez in 5th position. Trying to track down Richard DeRoche.
How did he get Roche'd in the first place, if he's been de-Roche'd?
I mean, you'd have to ask him that, I'm sure. It's a very, very private, very personal story, I imagine.
Maybe possibly traumatic.
Could be. We all have traumas, Byron.
I stubbed my toe the other day.
I mean, considering how big your toe is, that is a very big deal.
Yeah, the furniture was upset.
Caleb Caleb Gonzalez zips past Javier Perez Torres, who along with Guido De Palma have not pitted yet, as well as Max Simmons, the last of the prototype runners not to pit. And he has put an entire lap on the field, although that will go away once he does hit the pit lane.
Maxwell Simonstein, noted Porsche enthusiast.
Dan Bach is dropping through the order, so I assume that means that he is in the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. And that has elevated this fight between Gonzalez and DeRoche to a battle for third position. Two of the top men in ESR for a really long time, battling it out for a spot on the roster with Max Simmons and Fumihiro Kobayashi. Look out for Dan Bach coming from behind, though, because he has had pace to burn all day long, as Martin Edmonds takes 5th place away from Marcelo Giordano.
Hey, Marcelo. Marcelo Murcielago Gonzalez.
There is a Raffaele Marciano.
That sounds very Italian.
Mm-hmm. Wayne Hutchison zips past GT4 leader Guido De Palma. Oh, no, De Palma comes back at him into turn 1. And back to the battle for third place between Gonzalez and DeRoche. Really don't know why the prototypes have the driver's side on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, whatever it happens to be in each of them. Feels like that should just be a middle drive car, whatever.
I think they should all be middle drive cars, but that's just me.
Dan Bach overtakes Marcelo Giordano for 6th place, so the climb begins once again for Dan Bachenstein.
Now I just want to listen to the climb by No Doubt.
Lost Bertrand Barrier from the race by the looks of it, so he has joined Sean Kenny and Josiah Jerome on the sideline, as well as Zifo Duran.
I say Bertrand.
15 cars remaining. Although it does appear like Jerome is still on the server, just many, many laps down.
He's just hanging out in the pit lane, talking shit and throwing banana peels on the track.
Maybe he is pulling the Donkey Kong. Caleb Gonzalez getting closer to Richard DeRoche. Seems like all the time. Gap is down to just under 0.3 of a second. Let's see what he can do.
As long as he's down below 0.3 of a second, I think he's doing well.
Max Simmons has done his pit stop and has come out 36 seconds ahead of 2nd place man Fumihiro Kobayashi.
Did you know that Caleb Gonzalez once ate an entire walrus?
I believe it.
Me too.
I was going to say, who is that close to Liam Curtin? But the answer is it's Guido De Palma, who's actually lapped, although still has to pit. So no fight going on there. Dan Bach has left Giordano for dead. Next on his list is Martin Edmonds.
There's a lot of people dead out there, man. I don't understand it. What's with the hostilities? Is it just because of the American track? And
there's a lot of hostility going on. It's a tense neighborhood. There's a lot of debates about flags and protests and what you're allowed to protest, what you're not allowed to protest.
No flag, no country. That's the rules. As put forth by our Lord and Savior, Eddie Izzard.
Gonzalez getting crew. Well, actually, he's a little bit further away now. But still very much in sniffing distance of Richard George.
Gross. Pervert.
A little bit. And they're coming up to James Butler. Oh, a little bit of grass there taken. And in this game, I wouldn't recommend that because it treats grass like permanent ice for like a lap. Javi Perez Torres has come in and handled his pit stop, so the only man left is Guido De Palma, the GT4 leader.
I think you're gonna have to penalize Josiah Jerome for not pit stopping either.
Well, he's not running. So
well, that's not my problem. It says here in red, Josiah Jerome, penalty.
Okay, we can give him a 180-second penalty that will do nothing.
It's the rules, man. No pit stop penalty. Sean Kenny made his pit stop. Apparently Bertrand did as well. No pit stop. I didn't make the rules.
They're ahead of him anyways.
I didn't make the rules. I just selectively enforced them for my own amusement.
I did help make the rules, so I can't use that logic. Gonzalez is really starting to fall back here, which is disappointing because I was looking forward to a battle between him and Richard towards the end. Maybe we'll still get it. 32 minutes to go. Plenty of time for him to close that down from 1.5 or 1.3 seconds. But everything is fairly spread out right now. We're just kind of really waiting for Guido De Palma to make his pit stop. There's a little bit of a battle between Kobayashi, DeRoche, Gonzalez, Edmonds, Bach, Giordano. So like second through to 7th. Still has some stuff to play for.
In completely alternate news, I got a new cast iron frying pan.
Very cool. What's your first thing you're going to cook it?
Probably potatoes. That's the general. Once you've got it all, you got to season it first. So warm it up in the oven. Rub it down with some oil, very very thin layer. You don't want it to be like burning off oil in your oven. And then you crank that bitch up as hot as you can go for an hour. And then you turn the heat off and let it cool down in the oven. Don't take it out of the oven. Cools too fast. You may fucking crack the whole thing. Bad idea. And if good, good. If not good, do it again. Maybe 2-3 times. But then you chop up some potatoes and you make hash browns or fries or something like that. And you want the starch to rub all over the place and kind of carbonize.
Roger.
That's the general move. Whether or not that's really how molecularly things happen, I don't know. But it's worked so far.
Welcome to Cooking Time with Byron. How to prep your cast iron pan.
Yep. You basically want the oil to hydrolyze. Hydrolyze? That's not the word I'm looking for.
It's definitely not the word I think.
That's brewing and things. Shit, I can't remember the actual term, but you want the oil to make like a barrier over the iron, because the iron's iron. It's there's pits everywhere. If you've rubbed down a brand new cast iron pan, you'll feel how rough it is. And if you rub down a cast iron pan that's been well seasoned, it's like glass smooth. So you want the oil to basically not carbonize. That's also not right, but it's closer to what I want to say. But you want to basically make the molecules in the oil do a thing under heat to create that barrier.
You're basically creating an undercoating.
Yeah, you're making a non-stick pan, basically. Good times.
Well, let us know how that goes.
Hot and smoky. It always is. I always put too much oil on. Well, I always leave too much oil on. You basically want to just put oil on a piece of paper towel and then rub it all over the hot pan, and then make sure that it's just, not running or dripping anywhere. But I always fuck up and put up too much.
I mean, as long as the end result is there, that's all that really matters.
Correct. Which is why sometimes I have to season it 2-3 times.
I was making porco pibil the other day, and unfortunately I messed up a little bit. There was a gap in the tinfoil, and some of the marinade escaped on me.
No.
Still was pretty good, although the meat was a little drier than you'd like.
These are true statements of the baby echidna.
Also, it probably saved me from Johnny Depp showing up in my kitchen and shooting me for making too good a porco pibil.
I made a pretty good pork rub combo, if you want a spice selection recipe.
Indeed.
And anybody else out there watching, hit me up on Discord.
Always down for more.
Hell yeah. This is what I put on the pulled pork that I made.
Oh, Guido de Palma has made his pit stop and come out about 40 seconds ahead of Liam Curtin, so not a ton of interesting things happening there.
So anyway, I started Blast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great.
That's good.
I got more ingredients. I'm going to make that potato soup again. So, if anybody...
Did you know that our good friend Jeff is blonde?
I heard that in the first part of your video there. Also, I'm increasingly dissatisfied with the audio quality of Discord.
Yeah. Definitely feel that pain right there.
In your next baseball video, you might want to lower your mic volume. It might be your volume, I don't know, but it seems to really, you get really boomy and staticky, or like loud and distorted, really, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal with that is, because of course it's literally the same microphone we're recording this on, and the same process should be going through.
Yeah, but you're doing it on Discord, and we're doing this on TeamSpeak.
Yeah, but the recording of my voice shouldn't be through Discord. Now, obviously, my co-commentator would be through the Discord audio codec.
I don't know.
But the microphone should not be there. So I've actually I thought for a while that it was perhaps that I was, because I'm using a controller, I'm leaning back a little bit too far or whatever, and it's playing with the acoustics of the whole situation. But in today's video, I thought I was close enough to the mic. So I'm gonna have to listen to that back and see what I can do with it, because I've been very puzzled by that.
I don't know. I think it's just you might need to go into your settings on Discord and lower your mic just a bit. Maybe.
That's the thing is, it's not Discord that's being recorded.
Well, then lower your mic somewhere else. You check your Windows.
It's the same setting. It's got to be something. It's got to be something to do with my position.
Check your newest distribution of Debian.
I do actually have Debian installed on this computer.
I'm not shocked.
I went through a tremendous hassle to get Debian to work, and at this point, it's too much was invested in that to let it go.
That seems fair.
Can't remember. Was it Debian? Yeah, it's Debian that we had to install on a computer in high school, and we were installing it on a laptop. So I just say, Mr. Byzantine, can I take this home with me and try and work on it? He said, yeah, just make sure to return it. Showed up the next day and went over to my partners Sean and Jordan and just went, oh, Liam Curtin getting nudged by Richard DeRoche there in the bus stop. That's a little rude.
You've been DeRoche'd.
Went over to Jordan and Sean, my partners, and I have solved the problem. They're like, how'd you do it? I'm like, well, he was really telling us how to do it the whole time. because the Debian logo or the Debian symbol at the time was Tux the Penguin sitting on his ass, looking a little glazed over like he'd been drinking all night. I'm like, there was a clue the entire time. So I went home, broke out like tons of beer, and it works now. Don't ask me how it works, but it works now.
Instructions in pictogram format.
Everything we were supposed to get to work, it works now. So there you go.
Fine by me.
Not really any battles going on right now. The closest together cars are Richard DeRoche, Caleb Gonzalez, and Fumihiro Kobayashi. There's a possible battle there because it's about 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds between each of them, but not really in striking range yet. You can actually see Richard here. Let's see. Can we see where Kobayashi is? We can't quite see him in the camera shot. They need to get a little bit closer. They're all just getting around James Butler there. So there is Richard DeRoche back to Caleb Gonzalez. So you can see that gap. Everybody else is kind of on their own right now. The next closest gap is Dan Bach to Caleb Gonzalez, and that is over 8 seconds, almost 10 seconds.
It'll be about 20 seconds after he spins.
Well, we'll see what Bach can do, of course, because Bach is the fast man who already has charged back through the grid once. We'll see if he can do it again.
See, that's weird because I don't remember Dan Bach ever having issues until I think it started about a month ago, and he just started having bad spins in every race.
I think it's largely the prototype cars that we've seen him spin in.
Fair enough. I mean, I don't pay attention to those kind of details, so you're probably right.
I think that speaks to the general lack of comfort everybody kind of is experiencing with these Daytona prototypes.
That is fair enough.
Which are finally getting to race at Daytona. They've got rather old physics to them. They're also Chevrolet, so, they don't believe in suspension.
It's just big old chunks of metal.
Oh, Guido De Palma off the track, so the GT4 leader having a moment. That will cost him some time. I believe he was well enough ahead that that's not going to be a huge problem. We'll see. Looks like his lead is shrunk from about 40 seconds down to about 24, 25 seconds. So, loss of about 15, 16 seconds, which is no small potatoes.
I bought potatoes today.
I assume that they're going to be cooked in the pan.
Yeah, we're going to put some in the new pan. We're going to make some into soup. This time I'm going to put roasted peppers into the bacon potato soup.
I think that'll end up pretty well.
I think so too. The thing is that the parents went on vacation. On the drive back up, they stopped down in the Okanagan and grabbed some of these peppers, some of those, and they brought me up to poblanos. So I'm wondering if I should put those in there and make the soup nice and roasty toasty.
That should be pretty good. You know what I should do? So the first episode I did of the Super Mega Baseball series was done without Discord being part of the equation because I had no co-commentator. I should compare the sound between that and the most recent one, and that should potentially give me an answer.
And then potentially you would find out that you have an uncommendator.
I mean, or what it could be is that I just get excited way more when I'm doing baseball than when I'm doing this because,
well, it doesn't.
This we're watching.
The distortion seems to be on everything you say. It doesn't seem to be on it when you're just louder.
Okay. Definitely worth. Definitely a work in progress. Bear with me.
Correct. I mean, you sound great right now to me, but the way you sound now and the way you sound in your baseball videos, not the same.
Yeah, I get you. I've noticed that, and I've been so far kind of at a loss to figure out what the reason is. So.
It's because you're using Windows Media Player Classic to record, you old weirdo.
I am not.
He's using Apple QuickTime version 1.7.
That would be terrible.
He's using Real Media Player.
Oh God. Why? Why do you even have to bring back these memories?
Wasn't there another one? There was
QuickTime.
There's QuickTime. There's Real Time. Or Real Audio. I can't remember. Real something. Real Player.
It was just Real Player. Yeah.
There was like an M4V something.
I think that was a format.
It was your boy DivX.
DivX. We call DivX. Power DVD player for DVDs.
Brutal.
All of these things and more can be found during the LimeWire era.
That's not untrue.
As well as the Kazaa era and the Napster era.
You know what? I basically didn't use Napster. I used everything else.
I used a little bit of Napster, but not much.
I used it at a friend's place. They had Napster. I'm like, oh, can we get these 3 songs? Yeah, cool. And it took like 8 hours.
I mean, that was on a good day.
Mm-hmm. And just hope nobody picks up the phone.
And now it's like an hour, and you've got yourself like a full movie.
An hour? Where do you live? Tajikistan?
I mean, if you're getting something rare that has like only a few seats.
Yeah, I suppose.
I did watch Predators the other day. Finally went through with that. It was pretty good.
And now you have to watch.
I think that movie gets a bad rap from people who just don't understand what like soldiers look like.
I mean,
they think they should all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm like, that is not the case.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Just ignore that it's Adrian Brody, and you're good to go.
The piano guy?
Mm-hmm. You get Walton Goggins doing Walton Goggins things, and that's always fun. Oleg Taktarov, basically just being Oleg Taktarov.
He was so good on NCIS.
He was. And then, of course, Danny Trejo, who is, great in everything Robert Rodriguez ever does.
This is true statement.
And Topher Grace being, something other than Eric Foreman from That 70s Show. Well, he's kind of Eric Foreman for like the first half of the movie, and then I think he's darker.
That's racist.
Not that kind of darker.
Oh, my bad.
Tonally darker.
You mean like orally?
Yes.
That makes more sense.
Caleb Gonzalez is closing in on Richard DeRoche, and Richard DeRoche is closing in on Kobayashi, so we might still get a showdown for second place here. We're just kind of waiting for that to develop and really get going, although the guy who's really making inroads is Dan Bach, who's got the gap down to 4 seconds to Caleb Gonzalez.
Senor Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one of the guys at work, Paolo. I keep calling him Pablo, and I know it's the wrong thing, and he laughs anyway. I hope he's laughing because it's funny.
He's probably used to it.
Yeah, so Paolo is a Filipino, and I did call him the Philippine Wrecking Machine, and he knew exactly who I was talking about. He's like, oh, you mean Mark Munoz? Apparently he saw Mark Munoz fight in the Philippines. There
we go. Mark Munoz is not a bad comparison when it comes to MMA fighters.
Yeah. So he thought it was hilarious. And I called him the Malaysian sensation, and he laughed even harder.
There you go.
Again, hoping he's laughing because I'm funny, not just because he thinks he has to.
I mean, in fairness, the best Filipino fighter is probably Kevin Belingan. but he's never fought in the UFC.
What about Sanchez? Who's not? I know he's not Filipino. I'm just kidding.
Caleb Gonzalez lapping another car there. I think that was Liam Curtin. Richard Durocher still about 2.5 seconds back. So I think the playmaker is Dan Bach, who's got the gap down to 2.4 to Caleb Gonzalez. So Dan Bach, who is behind Caleb here in a virtually identical car, because it's another Wayne Taylor racing car. There it is in the background. Is the excitement man right now, looking to charge his way back to a podium position after spinning and taking a speeding in the pit lane penalty. It's been all kinds of problems for him, but he's had ridiculous pace today. Fastest lap is a 37 flat, which is, I think, the fastest lap of the race. You can see Caleb's done a 38.4, so we're talking like a 1.5 second difference if Dan Bach can hook it up.
Go, Daniel. It's your birthday.
Can YouTube stop recommending me Tucker Carlson shit? Please go away.
No, because you endlessly talk about how much you admire his bow ties on Facebook.
Oh, God, no. That man is the most confusing, like, popular anything to me. I don't understand.
I always thought, or I was always kind of got the impression that he's gay, and that he really, really doesn't want to admit it to himself. Now, this is me just watching. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 interviews he's ever done in my entire life, but I've got the distinct impression he really needs to work through some stuff on his own. Which
he's really deep in the closet.
Yeah, like to the point where he's one of those like Republicans who hates the gays and then gets busted for having the gay orgies at on his yacht or something like that.
I could see that.
I could be completely wrong, but it's an impression that I got.
Yeah, no, it could definitely be the thing. We've lost all our Republican viewers at this point.
I mean, hey, if they hate the gays, might have lost some viewers.
I don't get his, like, special Tucker Carlson report, the sky is blue. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, people will, like, present this as, like, this big conspiracy theory. I'm like, that is something I've been aware of since I was about 16. Do you have anything else you would like me to...
Doesn't he only basically present conspiracy theories, and then when he
some
actual stuff, people like
his
conspiracy.
Like his recent one was like he's like Silicon Valley wants the Democrats to be elected. I'm like, the Silicon Valley is always one of the Democrats to be elected.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand your point, which I'll get off this time because Dan Bach has caught and is zipping past Caleb Gonzalez for 4th place.
Don't fucking spin it, boy.
Next on his list is Fumihiro Kobayashi. He's got 10 minutes to get on that podium. Well, 10, actually, or pardon me, Richard Durocher is next on his list. Then it's Kobayashi. So here comes Dan Bach. It's just like, I mean, there are industries that are inherently left wing. There are industries that are inherently right wing. I don't see what the news is here.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious and pretty easy math.
Someone put that up on my Facebook feed. I'm just like, yeah. And in other news, the oil companies want the Republicans to win.
Mm-hmm.
What's your point? Like, this is how it's always been.
He's not complicated.
There are certain industries that benefit from higher levels of education, and there are industries that benefit from just lower labor costs. So Caleb Gonzalez, now in 5th place, watching as Dan Bach flies past Richard Durocher into the bus stop chicane and is now up onto the podium. And, I mean, he is already waving bye-bye to these two. Almost a second ahead of Richard Durocher already, having just overtaken him. The pace that is being brought to the field here by Richard DeRoche is something very impressive. By the way, Caleb Gonzalez has put up a new personal best lap, 38.45. So he is finding the pace here towards the end. This is, depending on when you pitted, relatively fresh tires, low fuel at this point. Should be some tumbling lap times here as we get to the end.
As we come into the second mandatory pit stop that I didn't tell anybody about. Surprise!
We sprung as a surprise. Last 5 minutes.
It would be hilarious to have somebody, some sort of, I don't know, race director, somebody like actually watching the races, roll some dice and figure out at what minute in the race they have to hit the surprise pit stop window button.
Surprise pit stop button.
And everybody mandatory. Everybody has to pit stop regardless.
All right, so Caleb Gonzalez all over the back of Richard DeRoche. We'll also keep an eye on the gap between Dan Bach and Kobayashi, which is coming down. And it's down to 2.4 seconds, about 2.5 actually. 2.3, so still dropping. 2.2, he's on the charge there. Whoa, Caleb Gonzalez getting very close with Michael Magus there. Rude.
Oh, I thought close as in you were having... Oh,
whoa! Caleb off the track.
I thought we were having a moment there and you guys were getting close.
It's going to free up Richard DeRoche to go do Richard things. So here is the danger man here in the last bit of this race. Dan Bach. Now within 2 seconds of Fumihiro Kobayashi. We should be able to see him if we can get a little bit of a wider shot here with the camera. Nope, that is not him up ahead. That is presumably Wayne Hutchison. And that, in the red and white car, is Kobayashi. We just saw him for a little bit there. And we'll see if we can get another shot of him here. Dan Bach is on the hunt. The gap kind of is stabilized at the high 1 second mark to the low 2 second mark. Oh, Kobayashi getting a bit wide there. And that brings it down to 1.5 seconds. So he is on the charge. I would like to think the camera will stick with him because I don't think there's a ton happening elsewhere, if we're being honest.
Rude. I mean, Max Simmons is 93 and 1/2.
We have at some point lost Javier Perez Torres, whose people may have called him back to the planet to save them once again.
This is possible.
And he has opened up a hyperspace window in the middle of the Daytona circuit.
That'd be pretty dope.
We saw that at Spa that one. We're just tumbling through hyperspace. So, what do you think, Byron? 6 minutes and change. Can Dan Bach get the job done?
That is a solid maybe. He definitely is a million years behind Kobayashi, so I'm gonna go with no, but you never know.
I mean, he's really close. He's within step.
Oh, I was reading the wrong thing. My bad. I was reading it backwards.
He's within 1 second of Mr. Kobayashi. Probably a couple of tenths faster a lap, but catching and passing are not necessarily the same thing. Let's see if he can get it done.
And he exploded.
I mean, that would be the way Dan Bach's race would end. Like just a giant fireball. Like, and a picture of Racer X standing next to the track. I told you that I had it covered. Which would, for the record, make Fumihiro Kobayashi Speed Racer, because that is the thing.
Here comes Meth Racer. He's a racer on speed.
Probably still the best racing cartoon ever made. Awesome.
What about Initial D?
Eh.
You, sir, have no class.
I enjoyed the NASCAR series they had for like a hot second, but it was because it was like not NASCAR. It was like flying cars and like hovercrafts and shit. As Dan Bach just Like there just isn't any stopping him in that oval section. And Kobayashi did his best to try to make him fight for it in the infield, and it didn't work. So Kobayashi is going to have to come back at him in the infield section here. This is where Bach is weak. He's got Liam Curtin up ahead, so the blue flag car could lend Kobayashi a hand.
Agreed.
And he does not.
Agreed.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement from Kobayashi's car. That's probably just the ping coming into play, but it looks distinctly uncomfortable on the replay. Time running down here, probably about 3 laps maybe to go. Probably not even that. This lap and then maybe 2 more. Kobayashi to try to come back at Dan Bach. He's, of course, just kind of getting trucked right now, though, through the oval section. This is just where Bach is just absolutely unstoppable. Admittedly, setting yourself up so much for the oval section is probably what is causing Bach some issues in the infield section, if we're being honest. As James Butler falls another lap down there. Get a little bit of blurriness here in the recording, which is a little bit questionable.
That's mainly because you're going so damn fast.
Could be. Motion blur is a thing. There's apparently an auto director for Assetto Corsa now. I just got to get it to actually work.
That sounds like an ideal situation.
Tried to work it last night, but it didn't really work out. Though, if you want to check out the onboard from the Monza practice race last night, please take a look at my YouTube channel there at Mio Nerd. Me and Javier Perez Torres had an excellent battle for 5th place.
Nerd.
And bragging rights to be king of the Lexuses.
Lexus LS 4.5.
Just the RCF. Which is the first Lexus I ever saw at the auto show. Sat in and went like, you know what? I could see paying a lot of money for this. Drive-through penalty, track limit abuse for Caleb Gonzalez. So we got a little bit of spice here at the end. He was not able to keep pace with DeRoche, so he's really thrown himself into a bad spot here because he might lose that 5th place to Martin Edmonds.
And has that guaranteed your boy DeRoche.
Whoa, Dan Bach in the pit lane! Dan Bach is in the pit lane. He might not have enough gas.
That's awkward. You need
and just like that, Grande Ricardo, Richard DeRoche back on the podium, baby.
Well done. You have been deroched.
Martin Edmonds overtaking Dan Bach, and it looks like we've done. Dan Bach pulled the pin.
I'd be a little peeved at myself as well.
Probably not the happiest with yourself now. I've run out of gas before. It's not a good feeling. You can do a lot more about it in ACC because you can turn the engine down with the map, the ECU settings, and use up less fuel that way. So there's like a little bit of a get out of jail free card if you didn't put enough gas in.
That sounds like a pretty good solution.
But you do go slower, of course. And of course, sometimes you do what I do on the first lap, which is you turn the engine mode all the way down for the formation lap, and then forget to turn it back up for the start. And people are whizzing past you, and you're going, "What's wrong with my car?" Oh, that's what it is. Max Simmons coming around to take a victory here. I want to say this is his first victory in this series. Gonna look at the standings. It is. So Max Simmons bringing it home, taking first place here at Daytona to finish off the Prototype GT4 series. Caleb Gonzalez has not yet served his penalty, so he's going to take a time penalty, I do believe. And it's a little bit of good fortune for Max. Dan Bach runs out of gas, has a troubled race in general. Josiah Jerome, who looked like the man to bet money on, falls out of the race pretty early on. Victory kind of falling into his lap, but at the same time, you got to be there to take it, and he gives the flash of the headlights as he comes across the line in first place. And it will be the whaling car of Fumihiro Kobayashi, who should take the checkered flag second here.
But we won't know for another 49 minutes.
A little less than a minute, probably around 30 seconds.
God, I thought those minutes, my bad.
There he is through the bus stop. This is towards the end of the lap. That's the last real turn.
Bus stop.
And coming around to take second place here, which I think is definitely Kobayashi's best result since joining the ESR community. So tip of the hat to him. And here is the finish line coming up now. He gives a little wiggle. Gives a little show. And the other whaling car of Richard DeRoche is going to take home third place for the Grande Hicardo. And that is Caleb Gonzalez, who I think is going to try and serve his penalty, but it's a little late, Caleb.
Oh, it's fine.
I think honestly this is actually the wrong move, because I think he's going to cross the finish line and incur the time penalty, he's going to do the drive-through.
That's awkward.
Whoa! Awesome. Martin Edmonds with a big celebration.
Well done. Well done.
Indeed. Here comes Marcelo Giordano, who is, I think, already on the cooldown lap, actually, judging by how slowly he's moving. Either that, or he's about to face the same fate as Dan Bach and is out of gas. I think we can run through the GT4 results because there was nothing going on in that race. Guido De Palma picking up the win from Liam Curtin. Mike Magus will be on the podium, and James Butler. There it is, 90-second penalty for Caleb Gonzalez. Failure to serve the penalty, and he also ate the drive-through. That puts Martin Edmonds up into fourth place. That would have happened either way, though. So Simmons, Kobayashi, DeRoche, Edmonds, Gonzalez, Giordano, Hutchison, Barker, Delgado, your prototype survivors, with Guido De Palma winning from Liam Curtin, Michael Magus, and James Butler. Your champion in the GT4 category is Liam Curtin. And it was very close. Curtin beats Mike Magus out by just 9 points. I needed Liam to take one penalty. One penalty with that.
Well, I mean, all you had to do was put him in the wall one time. You would have had that.
I was never near him in the race.
Well, whose to his fault is that?
Our terrible ballasting system?
I mean, that seems fair.
My car was fat.
You're dragging a pony.
Was. All right, final standings will run down here. In the prototype category, Caleb Gonzalez, your champion, with 542 points from Max Simmons, who moves up to 508. Big climb for him at the end due to that win. Double points today, by the way. Richard DeRoche, Martin Edmonds, and Fumihiro Kobayashi round off the top 5. Kobayashi had a really good end of the season. He picked up the third place at Red Bull Ring in the second race, and now a second here at Daytona. So he's shaping up to be a nice little prospect, and just needs a little bit of rounding out. GT4 category, Liam Curtin, your double winner at Imola, takes the title from Mike Magus. Guido De Palma, who won the last 3 races to take third place. James Butler in fourth. He entered the race with the championship lead, and Zivo Duran fell back all the way to 5th place because of the DNF here today. And that is about all that is notable here for the prototype series. Byron, do you have any final words?
Don't kick anteaters.
These are solid words to live by, kids.